Welcome to Tiger Talk, your source for information about your hometown and surrounding area. Tiger Talk is brought to you by Strain Beans Coffee House on Lower Main in Princeton, Hancock's Neighborhood Market on Commerce Street in Katie's delicious homemade goodness, and Perry's Floors and more. And a very good Wednesday morning to you. It's Wednesday. That means it is our extension program. Had the pleasure of welcoming into WPKY Studios this morning our agent for agriculture and natural resources, Shane Bogle. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm stuffed up.
Yeah. It's that time of year where a lot of folks are walking around sniffling and doing whatever, but also we were talking off air. This time change has got us all bamboozled, doesn't it?
I'm a morning person, and it's messed me up this year.
I am too, but I have to stay extra caffeinated, and we realize if we normally get up at 4:30 or 5 or so, it's really 3:30 or 4 o'clock. So, but anyway, it's great to see you here, sniffling and all.
That's right.
I got some tissue if you need it. But boy, lots of stuff going on, and some exciting stuff going on here in our county.
It is. Let's start with what's going to be going on the roadways here pretty soon. It's hard to believe.
It's here, isn't
plant
it?
Season here. I've seen anhydrous already put down. A lot of stuff going on with wheat right now. You're starting to see a green up of wheat. We are a large wheat producing area,
Very
so
big.
we're going to see equipment and stuff on the road. And then when the corn planters get going, you know it's springtime in West Kentucky.
Yes, you do.
So that is
Tell you the
coming.
truth, I'll be glad to see them.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Spring is going to be a welcome sight this year. So crops that we're seeing growing right now is, of course, the wheat. We see that pretty green sheen as they put that nitrogen on this year. And
it'll proof.
Yep, it'll start really getting it here in the next week or so. So just be mindful of that equipment and stuff that's on the highways, and that it moves slow.
Right, and folks, just be patient and sit there and enjoy that beautiful West Kentucky scenery and air.
That's right. So getting behind a tractor is equivalent to be behind 2 stoplights in town, time-wise.
Yeah. So
it's not a lot in the grand scheme of life.
No, it's not.
Well, and there is still lots of meetings and stuff going on, Ty. We're getting toward the end when the farmers get to the field. Things will slow down for the ag side, at least, as we're out in fields doing a lot of consulting work and troubleshooting problems and stuff with farmers. But the Cattlemen's Association, Caldwell Line Cattlemen's Association, will have their spring meeting at the Extension office here in Princeton on March the 22nd. Be at 6 o'clock. If you're interested in membership, come out that night. We have a program. Hudson Ag will be there sponsoring this meeting, or bring some hay equipment and some products out to the Extension office to demo, and if they sell something, great. If they sell something from it, but our beef farmers have to use hay equipment to get their stored forages and stuff up. So thanks to Hudson for sponsoring that for us.
You usually have a good steak dinner out there too.
That's a very good steak dinner. Yes.
That's a really good reason to go in itself.
Somebody said we had a meeting back in the fall, and they said, we got steaks. It was a beef-related meeting. Mm-hmm. We had steaks 5 out of 10 nights of this series that we was in. He said, this class cost $100. He said, where are you going to go and get 5 steak dinners for $100 that are as good as what they are?
Exactly.
So, who better to prepare a steak for you than a true cattleman?
You know it. They know the beef. They know the cuts. And they know the grades, and they usually know how to throw it on the grill.
That's right. If there's any new folks out there that are interested in the association, we do have to prepare for the kind of guess the number that's going to come. Sometimes we have 50 to 60. We've had as much as 80 attend those meetings. And if it's somebody new that's thinking about joining the association, is just curious, wants to come, call the extension office.
Well, tell us about
who
can join the association.
Anybody can join the Cattlemen's Association. Do not have to have cattle. It's just to support the beef industry in Kentucky. Those funds go to beef promotion. Beef, it can be a heart-healthy alternative.
Yeah.
And lots of recipes. The Cattlemen's Association, the state association, have got people that's out in grocery stores doing demos.
Sure.
So, dues goes to help that. And like I said, it's $30 to join the Caldwell Line County Cattlemen's Association, and $30 you get 4 steak dinners a year. It's a pretty good buy.
That's not bad, and all the good information and the camaraderie.
We have an education component to each of our meetings besides our board meetings.
You're going to learn something.
You're going to learn something, and our Cattlemen's Association is so good they do provide scholarships. So a lot of the cookings that you see when that Cattleman's Grill is sitting somewhere at an event, and you see that's money that they are making off of that goes to scholarships for our farmers' kids.
Well, that's wonderful. Yeah,
So
it's good that they can give back
we do
that way
4
as
to
well.
5 scholarships a year, and that's a good thing.
Sure it
and
is.
That's why you see those cattleman guys out cooking at events like the Beef Bash,
Right.
the UK Field
They're
Days.
raising funds.
They're raising funds for, and that goes to our scholarship.
Give us the date again on that.
Okay, that is March the 22nd, so that's next Thursday at the Extension office at 6 o'clock.
And they can call you.
They can call the office there, and we kind of know our core group
Right.
about how many, but I have heard of several people that are interested
in joining and being a
joining.
part of it.
So we kind of, I need to know. We've got some steaks already ordered, but we need
Sure.
We need an extra 20. I kind of need to know.
Yes, sir. Don't anybody go without a good cut of meat.
And we was talking about this the other night, Ty, at the conservation banquet. Our farmers market is gearing up for a big year. We
Yes, they
have
are.
great things ahead for our farmers market. I'm very excited. We will be.
Feel like there's momentum.
I
for
think
that.
there's momentum. We are moving right along with plans to build a pavilion.
Yes.
In front of the Senior Citizen Center there. Of course, we're still in the planning phases. Lots could go wrong, but that is going very well. Very excited. And our producers, when you're visiting a farmer's market, folks are tempted, I'd sure like to sample that watermelon and have a little taste of that. Or have a tomato slice there if it's a special new variety of tomato.
Right.
But we do have to be mindful that we're doing sanitary things when we're out in public doing that. So University of Kentucky, and it's actually a nationwide thing, has developed some protocols to go by, and in the past it's been called GAP, Good Agriculture Practices.
Okay.
And they've kind of revamped that program for this year, and if you want to be able to offer samples of your product, whatever your fruit is or whatever you're making, and you want to sample that, you have to have this certification.
Okay.
To be able to do that.
So from what I'm hearing is anybody that participates in our farmers market this summer up on the hill will have to have this certification to participate.
If they want to be able to serve
samples. Okay.
Anything we're slicing, anything we're having to prepare.
This
other
might
than
be
just
a fresh. This might be, hey, I've got some tomatoes here, and you want to sample this tomato. If you slice it up and serve it, you got to have this certification.
That is correct.
Okay.
And we just in the past. From the old training, we would just tack that on to the end of a farmers market board meeting or membership meeting, and everybody
just had it. Yeah.
Just had it because it's good information even for somebody that do it. But it's now called the best produce best practices.
Okay.
And we will spend about an hour in this training talking about sanitation on the farm. Excluding
That's
our
good
livestock.
to know, really, for everybody.
It is. It's very good information. It's just things that people don't really think about, that you've went to feed the dogs in the dog pen, and then you go to the garden and you're walking from your dog pen to the garden. We hear on the news.
You could cause some contamination.
Contamination from fresh produce.
Yeah.
Is very common these days.
Yes, it is.
And people can lose their lives
Listeria
over
and different things, E. coli. Yep.
So we're going to have for 2 of these trainings to get as many folks trained for this as wanted or is interested. And I do recommend that everybody just has this. If there's ever a question, then you've got this information, and it's just good overall information to have. So in April, on the 17th, that is the 3rd week of April. On the 17th is a Tuesday at 6 o'clock. We'll offer one of those trainings. For farmers market folks, anybody that's just interested in knowing more about safely handling produce.
Is that going to be out here at the office?
It will be at the Extension office. And then we'll have a makeup session because I want to get as many trained as we can.
Sure.
It's just better.
Yeah.
Better to know, better
Yes,
safe. So we'll offer another one on the 26th of April. That's a Thursday night at 6 o'clock at the Extension office.
Who will, I guess, monitor or police this?
Well, as of right now, it's the Kentucky Department of Agriculture.
Okay.
They are over farmers markets.
So it could have an inspector just show up at some
very
point.
Possible.
Okay.
That is very possible. And then part of the reason for this, then, if there is ever a problem,
it's
easier to trace that back. It's hard to trace produce from start to finish. We can do that for a beef cow these days or a dairy cow, but it's a little harder for produce, especially if we've got a truck patch or somebody's just selling a few vegetables. So having an awareness of what can happen makes you a lot more careful in the field and picking that produce, processing and getting it ready to go to the market. Your cleaning process, spend a lot of time on sanitation. how to treat that fruit, what temperatures to store it at,
Right.
Things like that.
Well, good information and good stuff.
Yes.
And it'll be that time here pretty soon.
It will be. It will be. See, we've got a lot of the high tunnel greenhouses
Exactly.
that's
They're
in the
go-
county.
they're-
Well, this is what we was talking about the other night
Mhm.
at the cost share programs that the conservation district is involved in.
Yes.
That a lot of those tunnels have been put up. Well, there's stuff ready.
Yeah, they've got them.
That's edible right
good-looking
now.
stuff in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And those wares will be out and possibly
They will be
marketable to
out.
folks.
Yes,
Yeah.
the farmers market will be meeting very soon to make their final plans for dates. I think they'll be adding an extra sale date, maybe even 2 extra sale dates for the year. So we can say goodbye to the 1 day a week market. We've got enough volume. We've got enough people participating.
So there might be
we're
more
ready
than
to expand.
Well, that's great. That's
Yes.
fantastic. That's good news coming up, and good to know because I think I made several trips to the farmers market last summer, and it's a good atmosphere. It's a good time for a family to get out and enjoy a pretty afternoon just up there on the hill. The kids can play at the playground. And you can check out all the wares. And there's not just stuff to eat there. I mean, there's crafts there.
Yes.
And different things. And what is somebody that's listening here, if they say, man, I've got, I do some whittling and have these little crafts, or I do canning or whatever. I want to put my wares in. How do they be a part of the farmers market?
Well, we do have vendor applications available at the extension office that's got our guidelines, rules to how the farmers market legally has to operate.
Right.
And we have
'Cause there are
contact
guidelines for
information.
that.
There are guidelines. There are state guidelines for farmers market. What's eligible? They want as much homegrown, not shipped in stuff. It's
It's
about promoting Kentucky
Yes.
Kentucky products, Kentucky produce. And then also on that information is contact information for the leaders of the farmers market. Currently, our chairman, Stephen Schaefer, is gearing up. We met with him yesterday.
You guys were at the fiscal court meeting.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
And have any news from there? I think I read a little bit, just that hey, we just got some momentum. And
yep,
things
we've got
seem to
some
be-
momentum. We would like to. We're in a fundraising phase,
Right.
because we do have matching money.
There's a matching grant out there.
Yes,
And we need to strike while the
we need to
iron's hot,
strike.
I think, because
Yep.
it's coming from tobacco
Settlement funds, yes.
funds. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's important because that's not necessarily guaranteed money.
That is right.
So
General Assembly can take those funds at any
anytime.
time.
Yeah. So listen up out there, and let's keep this momentum flowing on the farmers market, because this is going to be something not only for farmers market. There's a pavilion there, but it might be for other uses as well.
That's exactly what it will be.
And so this is something that will be good overall for our community.
The pavilion, as wrapped up in this grant, it is called a multi-use facility.
Mhm.
So birthdays, having some picnic tables out there, the senior citizens at lunch can use that. Just people that's coming will be available.
Yes.
So.
Well, that's great news, and get in touch with Shane if you're interested in that training about the sanitary aspects of produce, and that can be 365-2787 out at the extension office, and that training will be coming up. You said in April.
Yeah,
Yep.
April 17th,
April 17th.
April 26th,
Okay.
6 o'clock in the evening.
All right, might have to spend my birthday out there at the 26th. All right, what else is going on?
There's lots of others going on. We got to save something for the next show, Ty.
What's that?
We just got to save it for the
Wait,
next.
wait.
for the
Yeah,
next
but
show.
let's talk about one more thing. Let's talk
Okay.
about the events that are going on tomorrow out at the UK Research
Yes,
Education
I
Center.
completely forgot about that. So I just heard a nice
Yes.
little piece right before this
Yes.
on the Research and Education Center is being turned into a grain and forage center of excellence.
Yes, that's big stuff.
That is big stuff for this community, and you don't really realize how much that facility out on Hopkinsville Road is utilized, but we know now. Because with this being closed for this construction process, we are lots of stuff going on at the extension office.
Yeah, you're having to absorb all of it,
Yes.
basically. Events are having to get shuffled around, and but the big news, I think, more than anything, is just this expansion. As we talked off air, this was a lobby effort by West Kentucky farmers. They needed this expansion. They want this knowledge here that's close by. They want to be able to, improve their operations. And this
That's
center
right.
being here will go a long way. It makes it a lot closer to help them out in that respect, and also it brings jobs and opportunities for lots of folks.
Well, Ty, do you know why the station was located here to start with? Do you know the history of that?
No, inform me.
Well, we have two major soil series types across the state of Kentucky that we growing crops on
Mm-hmm.
have to be treated differently.
Okay.
We can grow great crops on both, but they have to be treated a little bit differently. The UK farm was actually centered in an area that had both of those soil types. Of course, in the 20s, and when that was all getting going, that was an important thing. It was not so much that it was at this end of the state, but it possessed the qualities of we can cover all gamuts of research because of soil types that are on the farm.
Wow.
Is right here. So generous donations by farmers, landowners here to donate land to get that going. We're blessed.
So basically, that research started by those two soil types of being in a prime location, so the research could go on one soil type and
Yep.
the other soil type,
And
of
right
course,
there without having to drive 50 to 60 miles between.
And there's no doubt through leadership of some of the past professors and doctors that have been out there, some of the leading soil science studies and the research has been done right here in West Kentucky in Princeton. A lot of people don't know that.
Yep.
But it's been cutting edge and world-renowned research that has helped agriculture all over the world.
And, you know, to capitalize on that for the sheer volume, you know, agriculture has changed since those days.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't have the research as new trending things are coming to back up the idea, a lot of this stuff starts with an idea. But the research to back that up, that just puts kind of a solid stamp of approval that, okay, these folks are not out to sell me anything. They're here to help and tell me, okay, this is a bad idea. Do not
do that.
This trend is not a good trend.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put the research behind it, and we have the research data, unbiased data, to prove it.
Yeah, and we know that our soil is vital to growing things, and if we take away from the soil, don't put back, it's a process. It's a cycle.
That's right.
And, this research helps us better understand how to keep that soil healthy, those topsoils, and how to replenish and make it to where our crops will continue to flourish as we move forward. And a lot of that research has been done right here in Princeton. And tell us about this expansion a little bit specifically. What is it going to focus on?
So the building out there was built in '86.
Mm-hmm.
So it's do some upgrades. You know, there's a lot of research labs there. Our soil testing services, our plant pathology
there
services.
are labs actually.
Labs are
a
little outdated, and so an upgrade for labs. They're out of office space. With this expansion, there's also expanding number of employees, number of research people, number of extension people, so they need places to put those. And then the meeting room facility was for sure outdated. That is so utilized by the community that, it's got age on it. So a larger, modern meeting room facility with technological capabilities for remote classrooms.
Right. That will be
lots
added.
of stuff. Yes.
Now the existing, and I haven't seen the plans, as I said, but the existing facility that is there, the current, is that going to be expanded upon, and a lot of that just saved as is, I guess?
I think the meeting room facility pretty much is gone.
Okay.
Will be gone. New on that side, but labs, everything down will just be renovated and added on to.
Be added on to. So.
Yeah.
Big works, and of course there's an event tomorrow out there.
Tomorrow is the groundbreaking, the
Groundbreaking.
official groundbreaking. A lot of organizations, a lot of our folks that support agriculture in Kentucky contributed to the funds to get this project going.
A lot of folks in town.
Bureau to our commodity groups have helped get extra property.
Right.
We got funds to start this. So tomorrow at 2:00 is the official groundbreaking ceremony for the Grain and Forage Crop Center of Excellence.
Yes.
So it's kind of a big deal. So we'll have a lot of our UK administration will be down for that, and other groups represented there tomorrow at 2:00.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting news for Princeton. It's exciting news for UK and especially our Research and Education Center here in town, and great news for our farmers.
It is. It's great news. So great things to come.
Yes.
For that, for sure.
Awesome. Boy, we about filled up 30 minutes, didn't we? we can do it.
We can.
Shane, of course, is always available out at our UK Extension office, as are our agents out there. Again, give them a call, 365-2787. I call it the brain of the community. It's just one of them. They have all this research that is done not only at our Research and Education Center, but the University of Kentucky, whether it's nutrition, plant science, agriculture, consumer health, all kinds of things out there. If you have questions concerning that, it may be a gardening question, it may be a nutrition question. How do you read a food label? they can help you with that out there, and that's what they're there for. It's a resource for our county to get information, and they will be glad to help you in any way, shape, or form. 365-2787 is the number to call, and they'd be glad to talk to you anytime. It's our UK Extension office, and that's out on US 62 West in Princeton. Shane, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ty.
You have a great day. It's our Wednesday Extension program. Every Wednesday, we will have an agent here in the WPKY studios to talk about what's going on at our UK Extension office. Thank you so much for joining us at 8:25. That's going to wrap up this edition of Tiger Talk. It's our Extension program on Wednesdays here on your hometown radio station, WPKY. Have a good day, everybody.
String Beans Coffee House in downtown Princeton specializes in made-to-order